Hello and welcome back to another video as we do our Game 3 predictions for this year's Euros. We are now into the group stages now and we're on to the third and final game of each of the groups. This will decide who goes through in each of the positions and who unfortunately falls out of the competition. So we're going to go in order, starting off with Group A, which consists of Germany, Switzerland, Hungary and Scotland. Germany are already guaranteed going through in that 1 and 2 spot and they do face each other off in the final game. Germany only need a draw in this game to secure themselves that first place spot, and then they'll go ahead and play a team who finishes second in Group C. Switzerland, on the other hand, will need a win to secure themselves that top spot. Otherwise, they might end up facing a team like Italy or Croatia in the round of 16, which would be a much tougher game. As Germany only need a win, I think they'll cruise through this game, and I can't imagine they're going to go and romp it like they did in previous games. I can imagine them taking it quite easy. Look, they don't want to get injured and they don't want to have any yellow cards or players missing for their next games. So I think it'd be quite an easy, almost like a training match for them. Just trying to keep ball, trying not to lose the game. I think they'll do that, but I think it'd be close. I think it'd be 1-1. Germany just going through as the leaders, Switzerland guaranteeing themselves the second spot. On to the big game in this group now. Third and fourth, really big game for Hungary and Scotland. Hungary sitting at the bottom on 0 points, with Scotland getting the only point against Switzerland, which ended in a draw at 1-1. Scotland giving themselves the best chance, however, they both need to win the game to even have a chance of qualifying into the round of 16. Scotland would move themselves onto 4 points, which will all but guarantee them. Hungary will move themselves onto 3 points, which gives them a very good chance of getting through as a third place winner. With this being said, it's going to be a tight game. It's going to be a shootout between the two sides. It's going to be very nervy, but I can see both teams going through. My prediction is Scotland are going to just nick it 2-1 and go through and hopefully get a good draw in the round of 16 to put them in a good shape in this Euros. The next group is Group B. So this consists of Spain, who are currently top and guarantee themselves that top spot. Italy, who are currently third, and then Croatia and Albania sitting in third and fourth. Croatia and Albania really need to win the game to try and push themselves and get them into a spot where they can go through in this competition. A win for them could see them go through in that second spot. However, a win will guarantee them as a third spot, as a worst case position. And I think that's what both teams are looking to do. However, they both have tough games. Croatia are playing Italy, which Italy haven't really played that well this tournament. They've definitely got a lot more to give. Spain really struggled to create many chances in that game. They controlled it, but they weren't able to get the killer instinct finish and got away with an own goal, which ended up pushing them through and winning the game. For the Croatia-Italy game, I think it's going to be a very cagey affair, but I do think it's going to end in a draw, pushing Italy in that guaranteed second position and Croatia just unfortunately not being good enough in this tournament. I think it's going to end 1-1 between the two sides, and unfortunately Croatia just going to fall out. The other game is Spain versus Albania. Now, Albania have actually performed really well in this competition. A lot of people have looked to them as a guaranteed fourth, and they've given it a good go. Could have easily got something against Italy, and were quite unlucky against Croatia in some sense, but unfortunately only sit on 1 point at the bottom of the table, and they have the toughest game to go. They play Spain, so I don't think they're going to go through, unfortunately, as much as I'd love them to. But I think they'll give it a good go, and I think they'll get a goal. I think Spain will end up winning the game 2-1, quite comfortable, going through it as guaranteed winners. Albania and Croatia just unfortunately falling out of the competition, with the top two favourites in that group progressing through into the round of 16. Moving into Group C now, where we have England sitting on 4 points, quite comfortable, with Denmark and Slovenia sitting on 2, and unfortunately Serbia only having the single point. England plays Slovenia, which I think will be quite a tough game. England have not performed very well at all, and I have no expectations at all in this game. We've not been free-flowing. We've actually been one of the worst teams in the group, and probably out of all the top teams that are actually in the tournament. So I don't hold out hope. I think it's actually going to end up in a draw and Slovenia get a point, which could be enough to push them through as a third place, depending on what happens in the Denmark and Serbia game. But I think it's going to end up in a draw, and I don't think we're going to play very well. I genuinely think it's going to be 0-0. It's going to be a really boring game, and I just don't think Southgate's got it right this time. But that's how it is in football. Unfortunately, we can't win it all. So I think it's going to end 0-0, unfortunately. But moving on to the Denmark-Serbia game, this is the game where Serbia need to kick on and push for the win. Denmark will be doing it as well, and they look really, really strong against England. They dominated the game, we sat deep, but they really played well and they really surprised me, even with the team they have. Very good players, but a lot of them are aging, but they still have that quality in the core. And for that reason, I think they're going to beat Serbia, and unfortunately, I think Serbia are going to crash out. Denmark winning the game 2-1 and pushing them through, and England only just winning that first spot away from Denmark. Group D of the competition sees Netherlands play Austria and France play Poland. Now, Austria really performed in this tournament so far and pretty much guaranteed themselves that third spot after beating Poland in their last game. Netherlands, of course, in that same position as well. They have 4 points, so they've guaranteed themselves going through, same as France. So it's going to be a battle out of who can get that top spot. As it stands, Netherlands are going through in that top spot position, but it's so tight. They both have the same amount of points and goal difference, so just one goal can separate the top two sides. I will say Netherlands do have the tougher opponent, with Austria really hitting some form and playing well in the last recent games, with Netherlands only just getting over the line in the first game against Poland. So I think the Netherlands-Austria game will be quite tough, and I can see it being very cagey. Even Austria getting something from the game. They really surprised me in this tournament. And I can see them guaranteed going through as a third spot and being quite a tough opponent for whoever they face. I think the quality will shine through with Netherlands, and I think they are going to nick the game. I think it's going to be 2-0, but I think it's going to be a lot tighter than what the scoreline suggests. The other game, however, is France versus Poland, and France really are not playing that well. I expected a lot more from them. They were my favourites coming into the tournament, but they just aren't showing the quality that they've maybe shown in previous tournaments. I think missing Mbappe in that second game really was obvious, and they struggled really. I think in this game, it's going to be a win for them, but I think it'll be closer than what you think. I think they're going to win the game 1-0 and sail through into the last 16. Moving on to the last two groups out, and Group E is such a tight group. Who would have expected that all four teams would be on the same points going into the last game, only being separated by goal difference? The top two sides in the group are Romania and Belgium, just on goal difference alone, with Slovakia and Ukraine taking that third and fourth spot. Slovakia go to Romania, with Romania being a real dark horse in this group and unexpected to win any games or even get any points. So that will be a tougher game than what Slovakia may have thought. A draw between them two teams should see both teams through. If Romania and Slovakia do end up drawing, Romania will occupy that second spot, with Slovakia taking third spot and going through as one of the stronger third place teams. The Romania-Slovakia game is really hard to predict. They're both two teams that maybe not many people thought of being really strong, but they've really surprised us and they show some good quality. I think it will end in a draw. Because the teams rely on their passion and their energy in the games, I think there's going to be quite a few goals. I think it's going to end 2-2 and both teams sail through into the last 16. I think that Belgium-Ukraine really haven't performed. Obviously, they got the win against Belgium-Ukraine. Ukraine, unfortunately, haven't performed the levels they have. They're still in it, but they have to really go to Belgium and look to win the game to guarantee themselves going through. It's going to be a tough feat for them. They haven't performed that well. They ended up winning in the game previous against Romania, but I do think they're going to struggle in this game. I think Belgium are going to come out with comfortable winners, winning the game 3-1, and unfortunately, Ukraine just slipping out in that fourth position and falling out of the competition. This would mean that Belgium would go top, with the other two teams drawing in the second and third spot, and Ukraine unfortunately fall out of the competition. The last group being Portugal, Turkey, Georgia and Czechia. Portugal already on that 6-point tally, guaranteeing themselves top spot as they beat Turkey, who are currently second with 3 points, and Georgia and Czechia currently occupying third and fourth with only 1 point. Georgia obviously having the harder of the games, playing Portugal in the last, and I don't think they're going to get anything from the game, unfortunately. They have really performed well. They should have done better against Turkey, unfortunately missing out. Just missing too many chances, which has cost them. So I think they're going to lose the game, and I think Portugal are going to be somewhat comfortable, but they haven't performed as well as I thought they would. I think they're going to win the game 2-1 and go through as winners of the competition with 9 points. This is the game all to play for. Czechia on 1 point, Turkey on 3. Czechia win the game, they go through as guaranteed in that second spot. However, if they draw or lose, they're pretty much out of the competition, with Turkey going through guaranteed in the second spot. Czechia definitely needs to throw everything at it, and Turkey do have a lot of quality in their team. I do think it's going to end in a draw, and unfortunately Czechia, because of this, will fall out of the competition with only 2 points to their name. I don't think it'd be good enough as a third place winner, but I can see them giving it a real good go and pushing for that win, and I think it's going to end 1-1 between the two sides. The Euros has been amazing so far, with so many ups and downs, twists and turns, and we're only just moving into the third game of the group so far. We have so much more to go, so let me know what your predictions are for all these games, who will go through into the round of 16 and who has the best chance of moving on and progressing far into the competition. Let me know what your predictions are of what underdog's going to make it through into the round of 16 and potentially cause an upset in the round of 16. I'd love to know your thoughts. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe on the video if you did enjoy, and I'll see you in the round of 16.